This is the NBA on 2K Sports. Welcome, folks. I'm Damon Bruce. It's Tuesday Hoops, and it's next. It's Kevin Garnett and the Boston Celtics going up against the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's off to Cleveland we go for the call by Kevin Harlan, alongside analyst Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg.
It's the NBA Live on 2K Sports on this Tuesday afternoon. Kevin Harlan with Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr. Doris Burke will join us moments from now. Welcome to Quicken Loans Arena, where the Cavaliers will be working in a little home court mojo. So let's take a look at the Boston Celtics starting lineup. Rondo, Allen, and Pierce are the perimeter. Kevin Garnett and Jermaine O'Neal at the 4 and 5. And for Cleveland, Jamison and Verjao in the middle. Then there's Ramon Sessions. Then there's Caspi. And it's Irving at the point. Now here's Sessions. Now Verjao inside. Allen outside. Fires from deep. There's the bucket. Good. Allen's got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball.
You know, guys, I think the Celtics actually came into the playoffs last season with a little less swagger than usual. I mean, losing Kendrick Perkins in the trade seemed to shake them up a little bit. And with Shaq really unable to contribute due to injuries, a team used to being big inside perhaps felt a little smaller.
Now let's go over to Doris Burke, who had a chance to talk with head coach Byron Scott.
Yes, Kevin, he told me that they're facing the type of team that is one of the best at forcing opponents into defensive mistakes. He said, quote, physical errors are forgivable, but any mental lapse today is inexcusable. We have to be the smarter team out there. Kevin?
Very good, Doris. Thanks. Clark, you think they'll be able to make that strategy work for them?
Well, we'll see, Kevin. I mean, holding opponent's shooting percentage down comes down to trust in your defensive scheme and then making the effort to challenge every shot.
Steve, right. What do you think?
Well, yeah, trust is a key word that Clark just mentioned, and I think the aggressiveness, you know, the ability to close out on shooters, make your rotations, but really challenge those shooters. That's going to be key.
Cavaliers on D, following the score by Kevin Garnett. Like you set the table there well with the Celtics and their injuries. That did play a role in the postseason, not just in the front court. The dislocated elbow of Rajon Rondo also factored in. Steve, that was a huge hit for that team.
Yeah, I was amazed that he was able to return in that game and continue to play the rest of the series. But it did limit him. And with Rondo slowed down, the Celtics had a tough time scoring. In fact, Miami really played him and Boston kind of 5-on-4. They didn't honor his offense, and it really cost Boston.
Here is Sessions. Timeout is called. First of the game for the Cavaliers.
Yeah, he doesn't really like what he's seeing, and they're going to try to hash it out here.
Anthony Parker's checked in for Cleveland. Daniel Gibson comes in for Irving. And a change for the Celtics. Chris Ditchy's checked in for Jermaine O'Neal. Here's Jamison. Here's Gibson. He's picked up by Rondo. To end the run. And that's good. Daniel Gibson for three. Gibson's got himself on the board with three there.
Wherever he's been, Byron Scott has had success. I mean, he took the Nets to back-to-back NBA Finals appearances and helped the Hornets get back on track as well. His winning track record was just what Cleveland wanted when they brought him in to be their head coach.
KG, that's good.
Guys, you're not going to get away with that kind of defense when he's got the ball. I mean, you got to do better than that.
Gibson passes to Jamison. Goes to the fadeaway and cans it. Jamison's got his first points of the game. Well, even though they had a rough year, Byron Scott, Steve, knows how to get a team turned around.
And when the Cavs lost LeBron James last year, they knew it was going to be tough. So Byron came in, did a nice job of establishing a program, establishing a style, and really keeping things moving forward as the season went along. It was a tough season for everybody, but I thought Byron Scott did a nice job kind of keeping them afloat.
Celtics leading by 6. Fires from the wing. And another basket for Boston.
He's got so many ways to hurt you. I mean, he is really an offensive force out there.
And the Cavaliers call time here.
I think Coach saw a couple of things he wanted to correct. You got to make sure everyone's following the game plan.
Both teams will make substitutions.
Nice job, Cavalier girl. What do you think, man? You feel pumped up now?
Here's Gibson. Guarded by Bradley. Gibson against Bradley. 6 on the shot clock.
Yep, I think it's pretty clear the higher you get, the harder the fall is to the bottom, and the Cavs found that out last year as they tried to rebuild, and it was as unpleasant as a season could be.
Top to bottom, no pun intended, it was horrible for the Cavs. First time the team goes from the best record to the worst record in a year. Steve, that's a dubious distinction.
Well, we all know why it happened. I mean, it's based on one man, LeBron James. So talented, such a great player. Once he was gone, basically the entire foundation fell apart for Cleveland. So we'll see what happens as they attempt to rebuild without their star.
Samuels dishes to Gibson. And they wasted no time getting those 3 points back. Gibson's got 8 points. It's 9 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. Pierce kicks to Kristic. Back to Pierce. Lets it go with a 3. And the Celtics hit again from deep.
Well, another uncontested 3 there. They've got to make some kind of an adjustment. I mean, they're giving up way too many open 3s.
Well, the last 5 hoops, 3 have come off wide open 3-pointers, Clark. So it's one thing to give up 1, but you start giving 3-pointers up in bunches, you're in big trouble.
Again, the Cavaliers score.
It has been all offense here early.
It sure has been. I mean, both teams clicking, and it's been an entertaining game as well, guys.
The first quarter concludes in a double-digit lead on the scoreboard. Celtics lead by 10.
And how about the defense, guys? They have really controlled the lane with their shot blocking.
Yeah, excellent defense there. Every shot has either been altered or rejected.
We'll be back momentarily. Welcome back, folks. We'll see if we're in store for a more tightly contested quarter as we move here into the second. Here's Arroyo.
Ray Allen is such a talented player. Had those early years in Seattle where he was brilliant. But in Boston, he really found a role on a great team.
So with Rondo on the bench, here's the 5 for Doc Rivers right now. Sasha Pavlovich is out there with Green. Then there's Jermaine O'Neal. Then there's Arroyo. And it's Bradley in at the point guard. And here's Sessions. And there's another one for the Cavaliers. But, you know, when you talk about the Celtics defining Allen's role a bit more, and that's what good teams do, isn't it? Clearly define roles with players, even veteran ones like Ray Allen.
Kevin, you're exactly right. And, you know, Ray became a much more consistent defender for the Celtics. I mean, you see that, and as you define roles, you can rein players in, and in some aspects, you can push them to do more in other areas. I think we saw it with Doc Rivers and Paul Pierce.
Sure.
From an offensive standpoint, encouraging him to be more of a playmaker and facilitator than just a bucket producer.
And let's catch up with our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. Doris, over to you.
Kevin, Ray Allen sacrificed as much individually as any player in Boston. As Doc Rivers said, Ray was used to having the ball in his hands in Seattle, where he dribbled for 22 seconds and got to decide when to shoot and when not to. I told him, we can't win that way. I asked him to trust me. Then I told the other guys, when Ray was open, they had to get him the ball. It's no coincidence he's been as efficient here as he's ever been in his life. Guys,
And winning, of course, is the real measure. Thanks, Doris.
And by now, we're so used to seeing Allen moving off the ball for shots. We forget how much he handled the ball in Seattle.
Well, it's all about winning for the Celtics and putting everybody in the best position to succeed. Rondo handles the ball and Ray shoots, and that's the way it is. Just a disastrous season a year ago for the Cavaliers, losing LeBron James and then, of course, plummeting in the standings. And they really struggled at home, too. Just 12 wins total at Quicken Loans. Arena.
And the action on hold as it appears there's been an injury. Yep, he's definitely in a bad way out there right now. Tough to see.
Well, you can tell he's hurting. Let's hope it's nothing major and that we see him back here soon.
Ditto to that. Injuries, unfortunately, a part of the game.
Kevin Garnett, he's checked in for the Celtics. Here's Irving. Back to the Cavs, Steve. Not exactly how they wanted to start off their new era without LeBron.
No question about it, Kevin. I mean, they got pummeled at home. That's never any fun. And even teams that know they aren't full of talent need to step up and at least play better at home, and it wasn't the case. And, you know, Varejao being hurt really impacted that home record. Now, he wouldn't have made a significant difference, but he would have made a difference if he was healthy.
You know who the Cavs played well against last year was the New York Knicks.
Well, there's always a team that
Sure.
a poor team plays well against. For some reason, the matchups are favorable, and they've got that team's number.
Here's Jamison. Hits the close-range jumper.
Beautiful possession. They found the open man.
Garnett backing down. Goes up. Collins with the block. The Cavaliers trail by 10. And Antoine Jamison, the bucket on the assist by Caspi. 6 points for Jamison. Garnett in the post. Off target with that shot.
Similarities between Rivers, the coach, and Doc Rivers, the player. I mean, he had the height to play shooting guard, but was the most valuable running the show as the point guard.
Anderson Varejau's checked in for the Cavaliers. Sessions comes in for Anthony Parker. Here is Caspi off the inbound. Good. Great point, Clark, on Rivers. You know, the teams that he has coached, Orlando and Boston, really embody him. Steve, they all play smart, tough defensively, and well coached up and down.
Yeah, it is interesting how teams kind of take on their coach's personality, and that's definitely been the case with Boston and Doc Rivers. He, as a player, he was tough, he was smart, he was competitive, and it sure shows in the way his Boston teams have played the last few years.
Nice shot by Jamison.
He was really a non-factor in that first quarter, but he found a way to step it up here.
Celtics leading by 6. Now Bradley. He has 5. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2. It's going to be on Varejao.
I thought Kevin Garnett really bounced back last season and looked better physically. Remember, the knee issues have been a problem over the years. But looked great last year and is always the key to that Celtics defense.
Oh, my God.
And for Kevin Garnett, among active players, you know, the second most career minutes played after Jason Kidd. So, Clark, he's got some miles on that odometer.
Yeah, he does, but last season he upped his numbers across the board, Kevin. I mean, he may not play till he's 40, but with his size and fire for the game, I think he's still got plenty in the fuel tank.
Irving. The shot's good. Sessions making the play. Irving's got 5 points now in the quarter. A moment for our Gatorade injury report. Now an update on Jermaine O'Neal from Doris. Doris?
Hey guys, Eddie Lacerte, the head athletic trainer of the Boston Celtics, was able to update me on the situation. He said that it is a strain of his lower back and any movement is challenging for him right now. He's going to remain on the sidelines for this one, and though it's tough to say right now, he might not be able to return anytime in the near future either. Not exactly the news you're hoping to hear, guys.
Good stuff, Doris. Thanks, Clark. It's got to be a tough time for him.
Yeah, Kevin, you wish they weren't, but injuries are really a part of the game, and sooner or later, just about everybody has to deal with them in some form or fashion.
Well, hopefully we'll get some good news next time we have an update on it.
And Doris Burke has a report for us from the sideline.
Well, guys, the Celtics have become a tight-knit family under Doc Rivers, adopting the Ubuntu, all for one. We like each other, said Doc, and we almost accept each other as family. And family, when you have a crisis, you yell at each other, you argue, and then you still like each other. He believes the open atmosphere builds a cohesive unit, guys, and it certainly pays dividends on the floor. Back to you.
Thank you, Doris. It is easy to see that relationship you talked about with the Celtics.
Yeah, you can see it on the floor, too.
Yeah, it's no big surprise to hear the fact that the Celtics function as a family because it's so visible during games, and you can see the effect Doc Rivers has had on this club over the years. I mean, he has become really the face of this franchise. What an offensive display he's putting on.
And at this point, Steve, you got to put more pressure on him, bring help, and make him move the ball.
Caspi for three, and another three for Cleveland.
Coming back with a three of their own. I like that. Good response.
Yeah, I agree with you, Steve. This is a team that will not back down. I mean, I'm not surprised to see them answer that way.
The Cavaliers trail by 9. Rondo against Gibson. He's covered by Rondo. Fires the three. Count the bucket. 11 points for Jamison. And that does it for the first half of play. Celtics out in front, leading by 6.
And it's been a great basketball game going on in Cleveland. Now, time for HP at the half. Boston leading against Cleveland. You can talk about lights out shooting, but this is out of this world. They simply can't miss out there. Ray Allen's been tremendous in the first half. The bucket looks about 5 feet wide for him. He hasn't missed one shot. Can you believe it? And the Cavaliers, boy, they're putting up a fight. They've been airtight with their defensive rebounding. No second chance looks. A big half for Antoine Jamison. The buckets are coming for him at a tremendous rate. He's really dialed in. Great effort on the court by these two in the first half. We'll see if they can carry the load again in the second. That's it. Time for us to wrap things up and get you on back out to the second half. Kevin, Steve, Clark, and Doris, thanks so much for tuning in.
Welcome back, everyone, to Quicken Loans Arena as we take a look at the beautiful view from outside. High atop Cleveland, Ohio. Glistening night, beautiful night here in Ohio as we resume play. And here's Rondo.
Well, we all know what a fiery, competitive team the Celtics are, with Kevin Garnett in particular. That's one of the reasons they were second in the NBA in technical fouls last season.
Jamison and Varejao in the middle. Then there's Caspi. Then there's Ramon Sessions. And it's Irving at the point. So that's who's on the floor for the Cavaliers. Caspi with the bucket. And so speaking of the Celtics, you know, some have said, Clark, that they go overboard getting into it with other teams and players. That wasn't your game, but take us inside that whole world of the player.
You know what? I don't know if the Celtics do it any more than any other teams. I mean, Kevin Garnett is very demonstrative, has been since he's been in the league, and that intensity sometimes spills over. And I always felt that you had to be who you were. You couldn't try to fabricate something that wasn't part of your natural makeup. So if you are a guy that it's verbal and a jaw-jacker, and you've got to do it within the parameters of what's going on in the game. If you're not, then you can't be that to try to improve your performance. So I've always said, like the young folks do, you know, do me, be you, you know?
Here's Garnett. He's got 6. Over Varejao, and it's Boston with another.
3 for 3. You got to like this hot start in the third quarter.
And the Cavaliers call time here.
Well, we all know Rajon Rondo is among the fastest players in the NBA, but he's really the only Celtic who wants to get out and run. This is more of a half-court team. In fact, Boston finished in the bottom 10 in the league in fast break points.
Brandon Bass is checked in for the Celtics. Here's Irving. 5 points in the game. Open look. Gets it to go. Irving's got 7. And Steve, you're talking about the Celtics and their slower pace, bottom 10 in fast break points. Clark, I guess that's often the case for more veteran teams. They don't want to get into a trap.
Yeah, I think they've got to be more efficient in terms of how they massage offensive possessions. I mean, you look at Rondo, who is an absolute burner, but the rest of the starting unit probably better suited to a half-court game. And it'll be interesting seeing how the Celtics go forward because Rondo moving into his prime and obviously more effective in an up-and-down game where the Celtics acquiesce to who he is and what his best type of game is as they go forward.
Here's Allen. Lays it in without an inch of room around him. He's got 18.
They're rolling now. 5 straight hoops to start this quarter.
The Cavaliers trail by 6. Now here's Sessions. 10 points for him. Over Garnett.
Finally a miss, but still 4 for 5 shooting to start this third quarter.
And it's Jamison picking him up. Tipped.
Now, part of the reason they are where they are is that they have taken care of the ball for the most part.
Out of bounds. And they'll keep possession. And making a change here, the Cavaliers. So the Celtics called timeout. They're first.
Well, Cleveland's season actually started out pretty well last year after losing LeBron James. They were about 500 a month into the year, but then things just went south, and they had that horrific losing streak.
Here's Irving. He's got 7. Ienga the pass to Hollins. Good from 11 feet out. Steve, going back to that streak, 26 losses in a row spanning December to February. That had to just be a death match.
Man, I'm telling you, and it wasn't like any of those losses. I mean, all those losses were nail-biters. I mean, the vast majority of those losses in that 26-game losing streak were NC, no contest.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, teams were just taking aim and beating them down. Right on the money with that assist, guys. Great entry pass.
Celtics leading by 4. Fade away. That's good from Allen on the assist by Rondo. Allen's got 5 points in the quarter. It's stolen by Rondo. A 3 ball. And again, Boston with the triple.
The lift they've gotten from him today has been huge. I mean, he's been steady offensively and has helped them get out in front here so far. Well, I thought Rondo played well for the Celtics in their postseason run last spring. I thought he picked up and elevated his production from the regular season and had a pretty strong playoff run.
So it's both teams making substitutions here. .124 left in the third quarter. Shakes him out of bounds. And they retain possession. Here is Verija on the inbound, but they recover it. And gets hacked by the D. He'll go to the line.
And the official right on top of that one.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Steve. He didn't hesitate to make that call, and now he'll get his chance at the line.
That free throw, no good. Yeah, back to Rondo. Clark actually upped his scoring totals during the playoffs from about 10 points, a contest to 14. First round against the Knicks, 19 and 12. Terrific. And then I'm sure you remember the gruesome dislocation of the left elbow.
That was hard to watch.
And what guts to come back and play in that series.
Yeah, he's a tough little hombre.
Steve, you had to appreciate that performance.
Oh, boy, he was really something to watch, Kevin. With that injury, to continue to compete in that series against Miami, you could tell he was hurting, but he still brought it every night. And he gave a great performance given what he was going through. Yeah, he didn't have to slow down at all, guys. Just perfectly timed pass there.
Irving with it. 7 points in the game. Takes the 3. Gets it to go. Irving's got 5 points in the quarter.
What a marvelous job they've done of sharing the basketball. A ton of assists.
Well, they know where each other is all the time. They're moving the ball, just finding the open guy. Nobody seems to care who scores. Time running down now at the end of the quarter. They could go 2 for 1 if they decide to.
And I think that's what they need to do if the shot's there.
This one for 3, and another 3 for Cleveland.
Come on now, you got to pay better attention than that on a shooter like him. He'll make that 10 times out of 10.
He answers right back with a 3 of his own.
Well, you can see it. They're getting into it a bit. A little mano-mano here. One-upsmanship taking place.
It's up a 3. That is good. Rubin's got 11 points here in just the second half. Now Arroyo. 6 points for him. Beyond the arc. And Bradley gets it to go. And the Celtics lead by 8. 5 seconds left in the third. The 3. And yes, sir, that one drops. Rubin's got 19 points.
What a fantastic performance from long range.
Well, that's been his territory all game, Steve.
And a great show through 3 quarters as we enter the fourth. Who will carry the day? Ray Allen really has his fingerprints all over this one.
Well, we know he can score, so it's not really a huge shock to see him put up these kind of big numbers.
And I would think that he most likely will continue to carry on this kind of play into the fourth.
And we'll be back momentarily live from Cleveland. So as we get rolling here in the fourth, let's go to our sideline reporter, Doris Burke, for the Sprite Spark Report. Doris?
Kevin, for that great stretch the Celtics put together, they get the Sprite Spark Award. They continue to add to their advantage as nothing has been able to throw them off their game. This has been an eye-popping performance by them.
Okay, Doris, thank you. And that run, Clark, really changed the complexion of this game.
Yeah, it sure did. I thought it stirred something up in them that got them on a good run.
Yeah, got the ball rolling for them, and they were able to keep it going from there, guys.
All right, now a chance to set the floor courtesy of Gatorade. Fourth quarter action, all fueled up and ready to go. On the court right now for the Celtics. Ray Allen, Paul Pierce on the wings. Garnett and Kristich in the middle. And it's Rondo in at the 1 spot. He had to fade back on that one, but still got it to go.
That's 9 straight points coming off 3 3-pointers. The defense just getting shelled.
Steve, the threes are killing him. I think they've got to find a way to chase him off the three-point line.
Here's Gibson.
And I think the big question going forward for Cleveland was, what's next? How do you move on from LeBron James leaving? And the answer for the Cavaliers, they're trying to build up their young talent base. They acquired a pick from the Clippers, so they had 2 lottery picks last summer, and they're trying to get better and build with their youth. I'm not sure what they're thinking offensively. Poor decision on that pass.
Out of bounds, and they'll keep possession. Here's Sessions. No one near him. Shot's good by Gibson. Yeah, that just wasn't the way to tip off the post-LeBron era, Steve. You're right with the kind of year they had. But you know what? Where they got their draft picks in the lottery, you can see they're really working to the future.
Well, they knew it was going to be extremely tough. I mean, you don't lose a transcendent player like LeBron James and expect things to be at the same level. I mean, but it was absolutely brutal. And they did find a couple. You mentioned the draft choices. So they've got some things to think about in a positive vein going forward. Oh, they're getting scorched by all these open threes they're giving up.
Yeah, it's really been the biggest pitfall for this club so far tonight. So many wide open looks for the opponent. And he responds with his own three-pointer.
Yeah, he came right back with his 3. And we're seeing a bit of gamesmanship right here, Steve.
No one covering. Gibson's got 9 points in the quarter.
That's now 6 straight points off open threes. Get a hand up, fellas. Pay attention to the scouting report.
You know how quickly things can go south when you start giving up wide open looks to this team.
That's good. That's 29 points for Allen.
Boy, both teams showing a lot of hustle, Clark.
Steve, especially since halftime, I mean, they're flying around out there, giving up a lot of energy and putting together a pretty good show.
Both teams deciding to change it up. Let's catch up with Doris from the sideline.
Yes, during that break, Coach Byron Scott had some words for his team. He told his team to keep looking for three-point opportunities, saying their perimeter defense isn't doing a good job getting out on our shooters. So let's keep firing away until they decide to guard us.
And Jamison backs in. Back to Harris. Jamison against Green. Lets it go. Nice shot by Jamison.
I think their only hope now, Clark, is to slow him down with a double team.
Well, they got to stop the bleeding, put the tourniquet on, and he's been tough to play straight up.
Gets it to go. And that's 11 points for Paul Pierce.
Both of these teams have really stepped it up offensively.
You know what, Steve? They haven't missed a chance, and I think both teams really know what's at stake on every possession here.
And the basket by Harris. Here's Rondo. Allen outside. Pierce dishes to Rondo. Oh, and the tip by Rondo. And now, here's the Sprite Slam Cam replay.
Come on now, I didn't see. Can you believe? That finish, boy, a little bit of flair and flavor at the end of it.
Oh, that'll be a fan favorite, all right.
That was not your average typical dunk.
Sessions checked in for Manny Harris. Tries to keep it alive.
Straight out of bounds on what looks like a really simple connection.
1:57 left in the fourth quarter. Celtics leading by 6 and stolen by Irving.
You know, guys.
As soon as they made that steal, they was off and running.
Yep, and they acted on it, partner. That's an easy 2 points off the pilfer.
Here's Rondo. Allen outside. No stopping him there. Jams it in as he's fouled. Just out for a three-point play. It's going to be on Version. Good for the three-point play. Here's Irving. He's picked up by Rondo. The dish to Casper. From downtown, another three for Cleveland.
You know, guys, he's always looking for that open three. I mean, that's his strength. And sometimes the best time to get the three is in transition.
Dunked hard with one hand.
There isn't anybody in the building that didn't appreciate that. Throw down.
Well, Steve, that's as fancy a finish as you could possibly get.
A serious degree of difficulty on that one.
1:27 left here in the fourth quarter. Now, here is Irving. He's covered by Rondo. And that one's good. Sessions.
I like it, man. I mean, he dropped a dime on him right there, guys.
Rondo on top. Got a piece of it. Here's Pierce. And there are the Celtics with another basket.
And the transition defense now, guys, non-existent, invisible.
3 straight fast break hoops. I mean, the D has been sleepwalking.
Caspi for 3. It's good. What a beautiful shot to bring him to within 3.
Kevin, that's what you expect from him. When the pressure's at its highest, with the game on the line, that's when he's at his best.
Less than 1 minute left. Allen against Sessions. From 11 feet away. Good! And that shot brings them to within just 1.
Boy, coming through with the game in the balance.
Yep, a game-changing clutch bucket there.
Allen inside the three-point line. Buries it.
He's such a clutch shooter, Kevin. He just lives for the big shot.
Here is Caspi. Pierce covering. And Caspi kicks to Sessions. Goes up. It falls. And what a sensational bucket to bring them within 1. And it's the Celtics with the ball. And they stop the clock as soon as they can with the intentional foul.
Good foul there. They got it lengthened. This game and stop the clock here.
All you can really do here is hope they give you a chance to even it up.
Sinks the second, and that'll put them up by 2. And the Cavaliers call time here. They're down by 2. 16 seconds left in the game. What do you think, guys?
Well, what do you think, Mark? You go for the 2 or the 3 here?
I don't think you choose one or the other ahead of time. I think you try to take what's available. You get the best shot as quickly as you can.
To tie it up. Irving. Shot denied. They foul intentionally. That's what they have to do at this point.
They didn't have much choice but to foul. Unfortunately, this is the last guy you want to send to the free throw line.
Yeah, I agree with you, Steve. I mean, they stop the clock, and these free throws are pretty much automatic.
Perfect from the line, and it's a 4-point ball game.
And that'll do it, Kevin. Those last free throws were the icing on the cake.
And so it's Boston scraping by with the win. Clark, it was anybody's game right to the very end.
Yeah, it was. The coach is happy with the outcome, but maybe not so much with the margin.
Thanks for tuning in to the NBA on 2K Sports. For Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan. We'll see you next time. And now, our Jordan Player of the Game, Ray Allen.